He told me it's called the Felony Lane Gang. You can see them on Facebook.
Inside the Felony Lane Gang, they target victims who lock their doors. Tonight, see how they work and what experts say you can do to protect yourself.
It is Sunday and you are in focus. You know, Felony Lane is a name given to the last aisle at the bank where you go and you do your business and the tellers dispense money based on your identification. Well, that name also comes with gang activity and an organized effort to steal identities and money out of their account. Cheryl Connor joins us right now with more on Felony Lane Gang.
Well, Jamie, one victim who was willing to tell her story on camera lost about $10,000 and her trust in protecting valuables in a locked car.
Picked up my purse, threw it in the back, picked up a jacket, covered it up.
Kate Buchanan thought she was the pro at protecting her belongings, but turns out another group was more organized than her and her walking buddy.
They must have been watching me because when I pulled in, I had my purse on the passenger seat. I picked it up. I drive the Suburban, so I threw it in the very back in front of the bench seat, covered it, so anybody walking by wouldn't have seen it or known it was there.
About a month ago, on a Monday at 10:30 in the morning, the mother of three had some time to herself, so she made plans to meet at Meadowwood Park in Lutherville and walk for an hour with her friend. The routine was not new, but her cool down really heated things up.
Here, down, it was shattered. There was no glass there. And so when I walked up, I'm like, oh, what's going on with my car? Oh my goodness, my car has been broken into.
And her purse with her identity and all of her cards were gone. Buchanan says Baltimore County Police connected her case to a nationwide web of crime activity.
He told me it's called the Felony Lane Gang. You can see them on Facebook.
In fact, victims of the Felony Lane Gang started a Facebook page, a task force to warn mainly women who are often the victims.
If I click on a person, I can see all of the information that they're associated with. So we see common addresses, common reports, phone numbers.
Matthew Melton showed us Wynyard Advanced Crime Analytics, where he says local police agencies, the feds, and banks are among more than 150 groups sharing information to track who's taking the felony lane.
When somebody will cash a fraudulent check, what they'll do is they'll go through the outermost lane of that drive-through bank teller where it's really difficult for the person that's working the window to visually ID that person.
Melton says when a purse is snatched, the felons find someone who is down on her luck and looks like the stolen ID. They'll dress up drug addicts, prostitutes, the homeless, and promise a payday. The Harford County Sheriff's Office made a recent arrest. 3 people in a rental car from Florida, the first clue for the deputy making a traffic stop.
He knew a lot of times it was out-of-state cars, particularly cars from Florida that were rental vehicles that also have tint on them, and a lot of rental car companies don't tint the cars, and this particular car had some tint on the car that was obviously not done by the factory, and it obviously had not been done professionally, so his suspicion was aroused.
A search of the car turned up items that made the connections. They are smashers, grabbers, and collectors.
Harford County's been seeing felony lane gang activity since about 2012, but since 2015, it really seems to have been on an uptick, and we're seeing more of it, and we certainly have, our deputies certainly have more of an awareness of what's going on.
You take the Ma and Pa trail, you pull into a gym parking lot. The sheriff's office is going to places where the crimes are happening and putting stickers on cars showing how they are vulnerable to crime. Buchanan wishes she had a warning before hiding her stuff in the back and behind tinted windows.
This can happen to anyone, and you think you're being so careful. You are putting it in the back seat. You're covering up your purse. You're locking your car.
Louis Griever, also with Wynyard and a former FBI special agent, says know what's in your purse and don't let the criminals outsmart you if you become a victim.
One of the things we've seen is they've actually gone, when they found a checkbook and they want to obscure the fact that they've got checks, is they'll go to the back of the checkbook and tear out individual checks.
Kate Buchanan had fraud alerts on her cards. Still, over a week later, thieves were able to get $1,500 from her debit account. And days later, they learned her husband's account was hacked for close to $10,000 because of overdraft protection.
They were so fast and so good and so quick that they were able to do it without anyone noticing and without getting caught yet.
Kate Buchanan did get her money back from her bank, but it took a few weeks. She tells me she will be pulling her credit report at least once a month for the next year.
Wow. All right, Cheryl, well, listen, the victims have taken to social media, taken steps to prevent more victims from this Felony Lane gang. Now, the Felony Lane Gang Task Force has a Facebook account alerting victims and then spreading the word on catching suspects at large all across the country. Now, the task force's goal is to shut down the crime network. Pictures on the Facebook page are from local law enforcement agencies who are out there seeking the public's help and also catching the suspects. Well, how can we stop the violence?